Good day and welcome to another devlog for Shipmental. Today's actually New Year's Eve, so happy frickin' 2026. May it be a good one. Let's dive right into this sucker. I've been crazy busy on the game, just in my spare time. Um, but I ran into a bit of a hiccup this week. I built out these pretty robust systems for just dive right in here. So I already had like the wires and the pipes and the vents set up, and then I built out these damage systems. Actually, I just built this one today. But I built like these holes that blow in the wires. I built these cracks that blow in the pipes. I built out all of these little tools that you use to repair them, like shrink tubes and heat guns and welders. And well, I just did duct tape today. But I built almost all of it out, and then I realized it didn't work with multiplayer. None of it worked. I would do something on player one, and then player two over here, he wouldn't see it. Nothing would happen. It wouldn't update. It was all horrible and broken. So I had to redo all of it, basically from scratch, and it became way more complicated and way more difficult because I'm still kind of an amateur at multiplayer and replication and all that stuff. So I finally rebuilt it all this week, and after much strife, much battling, I finally got it to work. And so now if I want to, I can apply damage to things. This is large damage. If I want to, I can go in here and change the amount of damage. I can put it down to like a 60, and then that will change how big the damage is on these things. So like now it's a smaller hole and a smaller crack. Yeah, see, not quite so intense. But for demonstration purposes, we'll leave the damage amount pretty high so it goes into a critical state, which is big crack. Big freaking crack. This is what you see right before the pipe is about to blow, basically. It takes any more damage, it's going to pop. Anyway, so, a few different things. I also built an inventory system, so now I can pick things up. As you can see, I've got a little temporary just little inventory thing there. You can see what you're holding. You can use the mouse wheel to flop between them. And then this, I took for granted, is that you can see what the other player is carrying. Eventually, I'm going to have it be, like, in their hand, but for now, it works. That's just one of the many things that I didn't realize, or I didn't think about the fact that I had to do replication for, which is, how you make things work in multiplayer, where it's client A sees this, make sure client B sees it too, make sure the server knows what's up. It's very freaking complicated. But anyway, now when these will be like sparking, the pipes will be leaking fluid or gas, what have you. Oh, Sarah's texting me. This is a muddy trail. Anyway, what I can do now is I've got this damaged wire where I can see the nice little copper core in there exposed, which I'm definitely a fan of. I need to tweak the hole a little bit, make it look a little better, but for now it's fine. But what I can do is I can take these shrink wraps and go boop and put a shrink tubing on it. Now, if I let it sit for too long without, heat shrinking it down there, it'll kick off. It should be about 5 seconds is the time. And then what I can do is I can slap that on there. I can switch to my heat gun and go, and it shrinks and then seals. And I don't know if you saw that, but on the player 2 on the left there, it all happened in real time. And now I can slap another one on here because the big hole you need 2 pieces of shrink for. I shrink that on there. Seal it up. Fuck yes. That took so much time and effort to get working properly. Because it's just, there's so many little things that could go wrong with replication. Because there's easy cheating ways to do it with multiplayer, but then you end up with a lot of network traffic that's unnecessary, which is bad for multiplayer games. So I have to do this very smart, where essentially I only send events to the client that is playing the game when I absolutely have to be like, oh, he slapped the shrink tube on there. Oh, he started heating it. Oh, this player stopped heating it. And then in between those events, the clients all calculate where things are, how shrunken things are, all on their own. So it's crazy how much goes into it. And I didn't realize that until I actually started making a multiplayer game. But it's friggin' nuts. So I fully understand why a lot of games come out and they're not optimized. So I want to make sure that this game is fairly streamlined, where I take any of the blowed out, a bunch of network traffic that's flying around. I want to reduce that. Anyway, now if I take this crack in the pipe, I can take my little welding gun here, my little laser welder. There's no visual effect yet, but it goes weep, and you don't have to be right on it. It is like a circle that it's tracing around my crosshair. So I can be like off to the side a little bit and still get it. So it's gonna be a nice big thick laser beam, and I can weld that sucker up. And now that it's welded, I can use the pipe again. But one thing I haven't added for the pipes yet, which I'll be adding probably next actually, this will be with both the pipes and the data and the vents will have to do with the flow of whatever they have in them, because with the pipes specifically, you can't repair them until you've shut the pipe off. The electrical wires, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to say screw it. Just slap on the heat shrinks and seal it up. To hell with it if they're sparking. But the pipes, they're actively leaking, and if you try to hit that with a laser, if it's like a flammable thing, I'm going to make an explosion happen, because hell yes. But there'll be like a quarter turn valve at like this pipe will go like over to the wall, and then wherever it meets the wall, there'll be like a quarter turn valve to shut off the flow of the fluid to the pipe. Then you can weld it, then you can turn the pipe back on. And if you forget to turn the pipe back on, then all of it, whatever that pipe is hooked up to is going to stop working. Anyway, so we've got heat guns and heat shrinks, we've got pipes and lasers. And finally, I just built this today, and it was so much easier now that I've built these two out, and I kind of knew what to expect. It only took me one day to do this one. I guess one morning, because it's not that late yet. But there's this nice crack here in the vent. I can take my duct tape and go boop and slap a piece of tape on there. I haven't decided if I want to make that part more interactive, like you have to like roll it on or something. We'll see. But for now, you slap a piece of tape on with my shitty duct tape texture, and then you take your hand and you drag it across to seal it down like you would a nice piece of tape. And as you can see, that's all showing up on here too. In fact, I can demonstrate that the other way too. And this was one of the big things I found, is that everything I test, I have to test both directions. I have to test to make sure that the client can do it, make sure that the server can do it. So now I'm playing on the client, and you can see on the server, boop, it replicates. Slaps it right on there. I can seal it up. That all replicates. Boop. And there we go. I sealed up my vent. I'm so freaking proud of this stuff. It took so long to make it work. But now that I've got it working, and I'm kind of finally wrapping my head around replication in Unreal in general, it's going to make the rest of it a lot easier in terms of making multiplayer work properly. But yeah, it's freaking cool. It works. It makes me happy. I can, heat shrink things and do all kinds of stuff. Oops, well, that didn't work. I think I found a bug there. If I transport back and forth between the two heat shrinks, the second one isn't getting it. Weird. Okay, well, the hunt for bugs is never really done. Let's try that one more time just to verify, but I think that is a little bit of a bug. Because yeah, it should be able to go back and forth. Like if I go to that one and keep it held down, it should. Okay. If I go off of it and back onto it, it works. But if I go from one directly to another, it doesn't. There's something there. We'll have to dive deeper. Anyway, thanks for watching. More to come.